Okay, so you guys clearly know what we're going to be doing today, and if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I've been avoiding making this video for the last 2 weeks because I I am not a fan of feeling sad, and there's no way that we're going to make it through this video and not get emotional because it's Spring Day. Spring Day is arguably my favorite BTS song that I've heard from them so far. And, you know, I say that fully understanding that I'm super duper early into their discography. So I haven't even like started to scratch the surface when it comes to BTS. But I know for a bona fide fact that Spring Day, hands down, one of the most amazing songs that I've listened to. And watching that music video, you can kind of tell that, you know, some of the content, some of the subject matter within it was kind of dark. I just didn't realize how dark it was. Yeah, so I think since we've gotten the formalities out of the way, I'm probably going to break this video up into 2 parts. I want to watch the MV again to try to come up with my own ideas and interpretations of what everything means. And then we're going to follow up with the breakdown video so I can see if I was kind of ballpark on some things, what I was right on, what I was wrong on, you know, and really get in depth into, you know, the ins and outs of Spring Day. So, yeah, I guess we just get straight into it. No more talking. Let's check out these videos. Okay, guys, so I put on my thinking cap. We're going to watch this again, see what we can figure out, and then we'll watch the breakdown after. I think that's the only right way to do this. Oh, that's such a pretty shot, but there's also like something depressing about it as well. Right, and you hear the train. Okay, and now we're on the train. I would hate to think, because it's funny as I'm watching that scene, and he lays his face on the track. I'm like, if I was doing that, I would want to get in and out quick just for safety purposes. There's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of urgency within him at all. Like he's perfectly content with sitting there, listening, waiting for the train. And I would hate to think that the messaging in this song is going to be that morbid, but at the same time, I can't put anything past these guys, because one thing I've learned about BTS is they're not afraid to kind of touch on very, 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 very dark subject matter. But that's pretty dark. Like, I didn't even notice there were bags up top the first time I watched. Whose stuff is... Okay, so we have a motel. We have a motel, and there's a no vacancy sign, which means that the motel is full. Who's within the motel? Who's within the motel? Why is it full? Okay. Where's RM going? Oh, and then this scene. That's such a beautiful shot. That overhead. Okay, because the gears are still turning as I'm sitting here, but I don't want to like pause it every single 2 seconds just to get out the thoughts that are in my head. So going back a little bit, you know, we had We had the scene where RM is being pelted with stuff, with like a cake and stuff. It's just funny looking at that. You know, I just thought randomly, you know, it looks like it's fun. It looks like what they're doing is like they're just having fun and playing around, but it's always fun to the ones that are doing the pelting and the throwing. But it might not be the same for the person that's the one receiving all of this. And it's interesting that it was RM. He walked through the door. He walked through the door with a crown on his head out of nowhere, and then he's just being like bombarded with things and just taking it. Like he's not fighting back. He's just taking it. There has to be something to that. Like I don't think that they would just throw. I don't think they would do anything in this video with just to do it. I think everything in this video has some sort of meaning and you know, but that scene is interesting. The stairway scene is interesting. You can interpret that a bunch of different ways. You know, are the people heading up the steps? You know, I know the incident a lot of people passed. Is that symbolic of the people that have passed? Are they the ones that are moving up the steps to like a higher place? You know, or maybe like vice versa. You know, are those people that are moving up people that are moving forward? Like it's so cool. It's so cool watching these because it forces you to think. It forces you to think, and nothing is ever as it seems. Got like a playground. Shoes. It just looks like they just look like they're kind of like biding time. Like they look, there's no life behind their eyes. They're just kind of like there is the vibe that I'm getting. Just looking at their facial expressions and their body language. They're just kind of going through the motions. I should have the closed captions on. My bad, guys. Could the clothes be symbolic of like he's standing still and the world's just passing him by? I miss you. See, but now it's empty. And now the gang is together. Okay. Before we get too far, the laundry. I know I mentioned it in the initial reaction that we did. The laundromat. For some reason, I get the vibe of like it has something to do with like memories of people, like memories of things. You know, when we think of laundromats, we think of cleaning things, ridding things of like dirt and blemishes. And could memories maybe of the people that were lost be the things that you're trying to get rid of, like the blemishes on the clothes that you're trying to get rid of? You know, what's the deal with the pile of clothes there? There's so many layers to this, man. And now we're all on the clothes. Like this beautiful shot, bro. That is gorgeous. Wait a little bit, just a few more nights. And now we all joined him on the train. But again, where's the train heading to? Like, what's the destination? Playground. I love this breakdown at the end. Okay, the shoes. Right, I had said that this was like, the shoes were symbolic of people like moving on but not forgetting. Right. So I'm super curious. I'm curious what the breakdown is going to give us, because it's like, that's like an onion. There's so many different layers to it that you have to peel through. But I think I'm in the mental space today to do it. So give me a second. I'm going to find a breakdown video of this and we're going to hop right into it. Okay, so this doesn't have a narrator, so I'm gonna have to narrate. Please bear with me. The boys represent all of the survivors of the tragedy. Okay. Interesting. Right. Here, Taehyung is feeling survivor's guilt. The guilt of having survived while his friends have passed. Many people who have lost their loved ones often and I said it. I was hoping that the subject matter in this didn't get that dark, but like I could never imagine how that must feel to be in that situation and have to live with that kind of, you know, guilt, even though it's not your fault. But that's rough, man. She feels guilt about surviving. I came out alive, but my friends didn't. Oh, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. Jungkook is also a survivor, thinking about his lost friends. I'm assuming Jimin is as well here. Goes back to the sea to reminisce. Thank you. Yes. And I'm so sorry for not catching it the first time we watched the video. The suitcases. Whose bags are those? Do you notice all of the abandoned suitcases and clothes in the carriage? That's not survivors stuff. I mean the people who have passed. The abandoned suitcases and clothes represent all the students that went on a field trip. And it's widely known that the Korean government has been heavily criticized by the way they handled the tragedy. The media didn't report the truth, the full truth. The families kept in the dark about what happened. Kids? What about the kids? There were kids. Most tragically, the captain told students to stay in their spot instead of evacuating. Most of the students drowned, while the captain and many crew members evacuated the sinking ship. What? It's even if you're trying to like keep the peace, it's always supposed to be women and children and then everybody else. What? And they're relying on you to get them through. You're supposed. And lyrics of Spring Day, Rapmon. I actually kind of like that, Rapmon. Anyway, mentions Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is a movie by Korean director Joon-ho Bong. Hopefully I pronounced his name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. The movie takes place entirely on a train. The movie symbolizes human society where the people in the front of the train are the upper class government treat the tail end of the train, the regular people, in an inhumane way. So basically society, right now. There's always classism. There's always has been classism, you know? Think about airplanes. You have first class, you have economy, and you have people in the back.
Belong to the front. You
Ooh.
belong to the tail.
Captain America is in this? His name slipped my mind, but that's the first thing that came to me. Ooh. I believe this reference is a criticism to how younger people and ordinary citizens in South Korea are expected to always follow orders. The kids, even if it means being oppressed by authorities, just like what happened to the students on the ferry. Oh, is there an authority? Is there like a... In Snowpiercer, the movie, one guy decides to revolt against the injustices and sets off towards RM heading through the train. Right. It's the name of a fictional town. Okay, interesting. Yes, because that was the sign up on top. The ones who walk away from Omelas is a story of a utopian society whose survival and happiness depends on the suffering of a child. In short, it's about how someone's happiness and prosperity means someone else's suffering. Yeah, yes. And it's crazy because I was thinking about this the other day, like, you know, the United States right now, it's kind of going through a little bit of like a reorganizing of itself and its priorities. And it's just interesting. It's interesting how you have a very large demographic of people that are struggling, but you know, you also have a subsection of people that are doing really, really well. And I'm just thinking, like, for those people who are doing well, it's so easy for them to just kind of like put blinders on and ignore the plights of everybody else simply by way of that, you know, ignorance is bliss. What I don't know can't hurt me. And I feel like that's just human nature as a whole. Like, you know, I was having a conversation with my mother about the, you know, celebrities, people who find success, athletes, musicians, you know, a lot of them come from, you know, impoverished backgrounds. And when they finally make it out and do something with themselves, you know, they end up leaving. They end up leaving and they end up distancing themselves from the plight that they grew up within. And it's just crazy. It's crazy to see all of these things, you know, depicted in this form, you know, like in a music video form. So he's essentially the protagonist. And are these people that are just like going against him? Are these people going against him? Or like they're trying to stop him? Because it looks, I said it looks like it's fun from the outside looking in, like there's surprise or like there's a celebration going. My guy is about to take a cake to the face. And it looks like he has no intention of fighting back. So who are these people? Who are... The scene mirrors a scene in Snowpiercer when the main character reaches the middle of the train. He's attacked by people who would not let the rebels through. Although it looks like a fun scene, it's not. Yo, sometimes, man, like the gears kind of turn when I need them to. Okay. Jin represents ones who have passed. So it's the second, it's the inverse. Remember, I had said it. I thought that it was the other way around, that Jin was somebody who's still here, and the people that are moving up are the people that have passed away. But no, it's actually the inverse. Jin is somebody who has passed, and he's looking at people going up the stairs. I guess they're just going on with their lives, and he's getting left behind. Stairs climbing, growing up while he's stuck at the bottom, unable to grow and go up with them. Yeah. And that's what I love about BTS music videos. You can interpret it so many different ways, but you always end up at the finish line eventually. The loss of childhood from the kids. Survivors. Yo, kudos. Like, I have the utmost respect for BTS because they're able to give you something, a piece of content to watch that is ridiculously cryptic, and you can still kind of follow the breadcrumbs to your own conclusions. And that conclusion that you come up with will be relatively close to what they're actually trying to get across to you. Like, yes, it took me 2 times watching it to kind of like make it to some of the things that I had said in that last reaction that we just did. But, it's right here. I'm not off on a lot of these things. I'm actually kind of spot on, and it's creeping me the hell out, if I'm being completely honest. But okay, this is what I wanted to know. The laundry scene. Because I'm assuming these are still people that are going on with their lives. Like, these people are living, that they're depicting. Fighting back tears, an 18-year-old boy who spoke for the survivors said, "Grown-ups are constantly telling us to forget and cheer up, but we will remember and recollect our friends because not forgetting them is what we can do best, just as we will remember them. Please don't forget them." The shoe on the tree. Yeah. Like, there's nobody seeing these guys, bro. There's nobody seeing these guys. To be willing enough to put something like this out there, is crazy. BTS is amazing. And this is the beginning. This is we're not even a quarter of the way into their discography. And we're getting gems like this. So what is coming down the pipeline for me? I am terrified, but I'm fucking excited. No, why would I forget them? No. And it says, "Don't forget" on the front of them. Okay, so the clothes represent the victims literally. Oh my gosh. 2010, an artist named Christian Boltanski held an art installation of 40-foot tall mountain pile of clothing. Each piece of clothing was deposited on top of the mountain pile, symbolically carrying the souls of those who inhabited the clothes to a higher place. Right. And I think I said that I thought that those clothes were kind of like symbolic of maybe like the memories of the people. So it kind of ballpark. Um, this might have been the inspiration of the clothes pile. And I love the fact that this is still just subjective because we don't know unless we hear it from the boys' mouths themselves. All of this is just theories. Mm. Finally wakes up and runs in the same path as Rat Monster. Okay. So it's like a Matrix situation, red pill, blue pill. And he's gonna join up with people who have already figured it out. Nice. Okay. I have literal goosebumps, bro. And we're just watching a breakdown video. Justice is achieved. I gotta go back and read what that said. However, as long as we remember the ones who have died, they will live. Yeah, for sure. Here, Jungkook is striking a match is reminiscent of the scene in Little Match Girl, an old fairy tale, where every time she lights a match, she sees her loved ones who have passed away. Okay. Previous scene, he was alone, but after striking a match, he had everyone around him. All of interesting. See, I never would have known that. Little Match Girl. Right. Close pile outside of the tray symbolizes how they're dead. Yeah. And the world is a train, and the train. The world is a train, and the train keeps moving. It doesn't stop for any. That's so true too. Like that's watching this and coming to the realization that a lot of the things that I thought were right, just that's so tough, bro. Because it's the truth. It's like, regardless of how long you want to kind of like, be emotional and distance yourself and just stop time. The world keeps spinning. The world keeps spinning, and time waits for no one. So a lot of these people, survivors, people who have lost loved ones, the world keeps going, and you don't have an opportunity to really like, mourn and take it all in and figure things out, because next day, right back to it. You have a job, you have things, the only thing you really have is memories. Snowpiercer music. Okay, so in the Snowpiercer movie, the humans are stuck living inside the train because the world outside is completely frozen. Okay, it represents how many of us are stuck inside a society or a government that is oppressive with no way out. Is it really that bad? Like, I don't know anything. I just thought about it. I don't know anything about like, South Korea. I don't know anything about Japan. I don't know anything about these places that, that I'm consuming, content from. And I think I should change that. I think we should definitely start getting into some like cultural things, not just music, because I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by all of this. Possibility of life outside. Right. That reminds me of what's that one anime? There's that one anime where they're being told that everything outside is like it's completely desolate, it's barren, there's like toxic chemicals, and if you go outside you're gonna die. But in reality, it's really just like a hoax, a government hoax, and I feel like they're pulling from so many different places. The snowflake. Yeah. And then somebody, here Jim steps out of the train, out of the oppressive system that is the society and the government that had tried to downplay the tragedy. He invites us with him. It's crazy how deep this rabbit hole goes, man. But it's also crazy. I've literally been right along with them this entire time. The tree represents hope, new life, a spring day. And the shoes. Come on, come on. In many cultures, shoes are hung on trees to commemorate the dead. And not just the dead. It's really, it's really just a symbol of just moving on. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody dying. It could just be somebody like leaving. I know with us here in the States, specifically like in New York, I know it's pretty common, or it was pretty common. Like back in the late 90s, 2000s, you saw it a lot. People would hang shoes from like the street lamps, the street lights, when they leave, like when they move, as a way to kind of say that, I was here. I was here. Remember me. It's interesting the fact that there's like a string that kind of like connects all of us, in different ways, but like there is certain like cultural things that kind of overlap within societies. Just as we cannot forget them, citizens of our country, we'll never forget them. Yeah. Snowpiercer. So Snowpiercer, there's a couple things that I got to look at. Snowpiercer, obviously, I'm going to take a look at that. Omelas. We've got another book to read. Wow. It's a great breakdown. Super duper good breakdown. Okay, so we were finally able to do the breakdown, and we actually got to watch the music video again for a second time. Now, it's wild. It's wild just how close I was with some of my theories. And, I love the fact that BTS kind of leaves a lot of space for you to interpret their music videos. I think that's so dope, bro. I think art is subjective. The only people that really know what the intent is behind the music, behind the videos, behind the art is the person that's making it. So unless it came directly from their mouths, we don't know what all of these messages are. But I love the fact that you can kind of infer certain things. And it's interesting to see that there's a lot of like, societal things that kind of translate from place to place. It's not like something that's exclusive to like America or like Asia. There's some things that kind of like, there's a string that connects them all. It might not be identical, like at the end with the shoe on the tree, it's supposed to be symbolic of like the passing of somebody. We use the shoe to depict somebody moving and changing locations as kind of like a remembrance thing. So similar but different at the same time. It's so interesting. That's super duper interesting. But yeah, I think the next couple things that I should probably get into are maybe like some more cultural stuff. I love the music. Music will always be kind of like the thing that drives this channel, but I also feel like I should definitely pay some respect to the cultures that, I'm consuming. getting to know, what it's like in Korea, what it's like in Japan, what it's like in the Philippines, what are some things that make people tick, what are some societal things that are norms there that might not be norms here. I think all of that stuff is super duper interesting. I just don't know how I'm gonna go about doing it. So if you guys have any ideas on like some videos that would be cool for me to react to, things that maybe aren't as like dark as this, by all means, let me know down in the comment section. You could drop the links. Just point me in a direction. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you made it this far, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Have a good one, guys.